Hello, welcome to the live stream. If you're joining us, we would like you to hit the like button, follow us, subscribe to the page. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on Rumble, like the page, make comment and share. One thing about the issue of ministry and doctrine is most we in Africa, we have our opinion concerning ministry and doctrine. But unfortunately, most Africans, most Black will want to die with their opinion. It's obvious we have one or two opinion. We go home and sleep with these thoughts that we have. We have our own critics, our own view, our own school of thought concerning issues that has to do with ministry, that have to do with doctrine in today's churches. But unfortunately, we don't come out to make our opinion known. Some will tell you that they are not that individual that want to comment on spiritual matters. These are not just spiritual matters. These are issues of doctrine. These are issues that have to do with ministry. Spiritual matters are left on the level of interactions with the spirit. Here we are airing our view. We are throwing in our own opinion to make the society better, to make ministry better. The fact that you have a thought, you have your own opinion concerning what one minister did or what the other minister did, based on your deduction from the Bible, from the scriptures, and you don't air it, you have not done any good to the ministry. You have not contributed to the good of the ministry. In fact, you are an accomplice. I give you an example. You are in a scene where two persons, where one was murdered by the other, but you saw that this person was actually the person that unalived this individual, but you decided to keep quiet, decided to keep mute in the presence of the law. You are just an accomplice. The same thing is applicable to ministry. People should air their view. People should come in and say, this is right, this is wrong, based on Bible perspective. I give you another instance of what took place in the UK, where the Archbishop of Canterbury got people's opinion on how he handled the issue that has to do with molestation of people of certain age. This got to his notice, and he reviewed his actions, how he handled it. He discovered that he had questions. He didn't handle it properly. He didn't come out to, call a spade at that point. So, and that has given more fuel to what is happening. And you have more of those issues going on. So he thought it wise that he failed in that aspect. He decided to resign on his own. I'm talking of somebody, Archbishop of Canterbury, resigned on his own. This is what many Nigerians, many Africans applauded. But it came because people who have constructive criticisms looked at and said, no, sir, you failed on this aspect. That is exactly what we are doing. Today, we'll be discussing about the Olumba Olumba Obu issue. The Olumba Olumba Obu was founded in 1956. It was called the Brotherhood of the Cross and Star. This man happens to be very humble at the beginning of the ministry. He accommodated virtually every person's in the society. He gave sound doctrines. But unfortunately, today, he derailed in the course of his ministry, where he arrogated to himself some certain level of royalty, some certain level of deity, as an acclaimed Christ, that there is a reincarnation where he is now the last reincarnation of Christ in the human flesh. Unfortunately, the members of Brotherhood of the Star of the Cross and Stars have been in a trajectory of trusting this individual. They've trusted him over time. What one would call a change, a gradual change that crept in into the church. If you watch his beginning, he is such a humble man. He is such a man that is accommodating, that preach equality, that preach love, transparency. He is not involved in any form of flamboyant life, private jet, luxury home, marrying women up and down. No, he stick to the scripture. Unfortunately, they say absolute power corrupts absolutely. This man along the line began to arrogate to himself, probably coming from the floor of the church, because the members begins to look at him as someone who have some certain mystical powers ordained by God Almighty. So during his lifetime, he was actually against the things that has to do with technology, things that have to do with Western worlds and the rest of them. He is married to one wife and had 5 children. The first child and the second stayed in Nigeria. The first child is Roland Olumba Obu. And the second child that's his first daughter, Ibum Helen Olumba Obu. These 2 stayed in Nigeria, but he sponsored the remaining 3, the younger 3, to go and study in the United States of America. I mean, this is someone who hold a divergent view against the West, against technology. But he sponsored his kids to go and study outside the shores of this country. Now, over time, he amassed so much wealth that he began to forget the actual doctrine that he held on to before now. Now the doctrine is now that he is the very reincarnation of Christ. The members even at a point traveled to the United States of America, during which they clearly stated that their mission is to come and save the West. And these are the people appointed by by their own father, the Olumba Olumba himself. Roland and Ibom, after the father, after the father gave powers, handed over leadership to Roland. Let me play one of the videos so that we can take the discourse from there. So this is the Roland himself, whom the father over to. But over time, because of the crisis that existed in the church, the members began to question the church, began to question what the church could offer at this point. Because from who takes over the mantle of leadership gave them an insight over if this leadership is truly of God. So
God, not be Jesus, not be Christ, not be
the
prophet.
father, before his death, acknowledged that he
That is the
is
kingdom.
not God.
That's all. I am not Jesus. I am not God. I did the talk, say, not be God, not be Jesus, not be Christ, not be prophet. I'm horrible. But I want everybody to live in the same level. You love one and everybody. That's what I wanted. The whole world. That's my mission.
This
And to establish the
this
kingdom.
very video
That's
happened. This very video happened in his lifetime at an advanced age, where he disclaimed that he's not Christ. Maybe at this point he's making a U-turn, having realized that age is no longer on his side. But that is not the case with the children. Roland, having taken over, needed to maintain the tempo that his father is actually Christ reincarnated. So the man continued to put the member in a state of delusion where he made sure that what the members believed about his father still remains. when he took over, in order to bring the flocks together, in order to maintain the same trajectory, not to lose members, because he was in fierce battle with his younger sister, who have a different claim that he shouldn't be the one taking sole ownership of the brotherhood. Then, during which she began her own new brotherhood, which she didn't succeed. Being a woman in an African setting is difficult to garner the same support that the brother would have gathered. So the brother maintained that his father, who handed over to him, is not dead but alive in a sea where he himself goes and make a visit and get divine inspiration and direction on how the leadership of the church goes. He still believes that his father still speaks to him and also the church, because his father is a deity, is not dead as it is, as the doctrine that have been pushed to the members have remained. Now, unfortunately, this lie did not last long, because he has used this lies to keep the members together, to keep the members knowing that he is not actually the leader. The leader still remains the father. So that rests the idea of who should lead the church. Is it going to be a family business? Is it going to be an issue of hair? So the members maintain their cool, knowing that the leader of the church still remains the man whom has already died, not actually the man they are seeing. But over time, he began to introduce himself as the new Jesus. And that settles well with the members, because now the members have seen him as the true leader. Unfortunately, he did not live the kind of life that his father lived. The father lived a simple life. The father lived a life of love, the life of bringing everybody together, the life of not believing of makeup, earring. He has a humble beginning. But unfortunately, this Roland was trained in a flamboyant life. He moves in convoy. He moves in Rolls Royce. He has a befitting home, different from that of his father. He has accolades. He has this kind of packaging. But the members keep looking at him with the left eye. Now, Roland was different because Roland had more than one wife, and they all had children for him. Now, Roland began to have terminal illness, which he did not disclose to the members. So, at this point, he was moved to the UK, from UK to the US, trying to find treatment for this terminal illness, which some people describe as cancer. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. He didn't get treatment, but the younger wife, whose son has been loyal to Roland, has been pushing his son to take leadership of the church. By the time the news had it that Roland has given up the ghost, this younger wife pushed the son, and the son tried to assume leadership. Other wives disagreed because they have members who are also loyal to them. So the issue of power tussle came in strong, and that was what brought in the some of the destructions we had in the church of the Brotherhood of Christ church. If you look at the destruction, what happened? The members still hold on to the Olumba Olumba as sacred, but have a strong dislike for this first son, Roland. So they went straight So now, if you listen carefully, he says, this is who we are worshiping. That statement sends to understanding. In other words, this is the person we accept, which is the Father. If you look clearly, the picture on the screen there is the picture of his father, the Olumba Olumba Obu himself. One of them says, this is the person we are worshiping, not the son, whom at that point the pictures were being destroyed. So, Olumba Olumba Obu was in America in 1971, not by any means, not by road, not by aircraft. Whichever way he found himself there, he is the one that knew. He had claimed that he was there through spiritual means. He also claimed to be the father of the maker of heaven and earth. He also claimed that the hurricane is an angel which is under his command, and he went to the United States to make sure that the hurricane they are suffering in the West is put to rest, because he can command this angel hurricane. This is the situation. Now at this point, there is a clear power tussle. Clear power tussle between the different wives and even some members who felt they've come of age to make a statement, to make a mark at that point. That is why we say today that most of these ministries are not founded well. Most of these ministries are driven by ego, are driven by selfish interest, personal gratification. That is the basis of some of the ministries. They come in after I agree that most of the GOs have labored over time, but then when you know that this is a selfless service, a service to Christ, Christ is the head of the church, and that church must continue on the level of sincerity and transparency. It's unfortunate that most GOs today make all manner of rule to make sure it rests on their children for them to take up leadership of church. It's not supposed to be so. That is why we have crisis in church today. If the most eldest pastor or deacon in the church has been opined in any mandate or rule to be the one that will take over in the event of decease or retirement of the general overseer, that will be more understandable. Church will be a place of glory. But unfortunately, the kind of doctrines we have today, the kind of ministries we have today, have told the line of family business, have told the line of selfish interests. And that is what we are seeing today. That is why you have a lot of churches breaking out left, right, and center. You're in your street, you can have up to 5 churches. And that doesn't change anything, because everybody at the end of the day is looking for how to grow a ministry for his own family. Unfortunately, we cannot continue in this trajectory. That is why we are making our voice known. Let us make sure that we contribute, share this video, distribute it, send it to people, like, comment as much as you can. This is the era that we are into now, and we cannot continue to have doctrines push in this direction. Thank you all for listening. We are happy to have you live, and we're also happy to have you listening to us